In a world devastated by disaster, Juliet travels across desolate terrain in search of anything to aid her survival. Upon encountering a cluster of deserted vehicles, she meticulously examines each one, including their gas tanks, but finds nothing of use. Turning her attention to the sea momentarily, she continues her journey until reaching a deserted gas station. Armed with a gun, she searches the shelves for sustenance to no avail. Suddenly, the ceiling trembles, and the ominous growl of a creature known as the Reaper echoes from above. Juliet swiftly retreats. While driving, she contacts her friend Harry, a fellow survivor. She notifies him of her dwindling battery and her plan to take a shortcut back to their base. Shortly thereafter, she halts her car upon sighting an abandoned RV. Upon closer inspection, she discovers a gravely injured man. As Juliet points her gun at him, she demands to see his wound and asks about the Reaper's whereabouts. The man confesses he's trapped the Reaper inside the RV. He mentions there are cans of food inside before pleading for Juliet to end his suffering. Juliet, mindful of her limited bullets, refuses and insists he uncover his wound to meet his end. Inside the RV, Juliet battles the Reaper, causing the vehicle to shake violently. Despite the struggle, she manages to defeat the creature with a well-aimed shot. Upon emerging from the RV, Juliet finds the man has passed away. After gathering whatever supplies she can from the RV, Juliet resumes her journey, reminiscing as she gazes at a picture of herself with a companion. Suddenly, a gust of wind snatches the photo away, distracting Juliet as she tries to retrieve it. This distraction leads to her car veering off the road, flipping several times before landing upside down. Juliet loses consciousness and dreams of her pre-apocalyptic life. In her dream, she visits her friend Harry on a rainy day. Gallery owner Jack, the man from the photo, approached Juliet. Sensing her lack of understanding of art, Juliet confessed she only sought shelter from the rain and hoped for some free food. Finding her honesty amusing, Jack joined her for a drink, explaining how to appreciate the paintings. Returning to the present, Juliet awakens to find her leg fractured and trapped in the car seat. With darkness looming outside, the Reapers would soon emerge, leaving her defenseless as her gun lies out of reach. Attempting to move her leg proves agonizing, and her attempts to use the radio fail. Using a stick and wire, Juliet tries to retrieve her gun, but her makeshift tool breaks. Another flashback unfolds, revealing how Jack left the gallery opening to dine with Juliet. Visiting his apartment, Juliet was amazed by its beauty and elegance. Discovering Jack's talent through his drawings, they shared wine and cheese as Jack divulged his family drama and inheritance management. Juliet admitted she had no friends or family, finding it difficult to open up. Jack's probing questions made her uneasy, prompting her departure. In the present, Juliet resolves to endure the pain, using a pipe to set her broken leg. She improvises a tourniquet and sterilizes the wound with alcohol before painfully resetting the bone. A new memory surfaces, recounting Juliet's evening at a bar with a stranger. Despite noticing Jack's presence, she ignored him. Upon leaving with the man, Jack trailed them, witnessing Juliet receiving payment for a substance and the man's attempted advances. Juliet rebuffed him angrily. Jack continued to follow Juliet onto a train and into a dubious neighborhood. There, Juliet purchased more substance, confirming her role as a dealer. When Jack revealed himself, Juliet reluctantly allowed him to accompany her into a building where she paid another dealer to enter her apartment. Instead, Jack witnessed Juliet's impoverished living conditions and offered his assistance, but she defensively refused, rejecting any charity. Attempting to force Jack out, Juliet brandished an injection to reveal her own addiction, causing confusion and prompting Jack to depart. In the present, Juliet improvises a makeshift cast using items from the car and attempts to fix the radio, but receives no response to her calls for help. Hearing a Reaper approaching, she hastily exits the car, retrieves her gun, and hides inside. Remaining silent, Juliet watches as the Reaper draws near, but suddenly Harry's voice crackles through the radio. The creature hears it and heads towards her car, forcing Juliet to toss the radio away. The distraction allows her a momentary reprieve as the creature investigates the noise in the distance before leaving. Juliet reloads her gun while recalling another memory, a time when she was assaulted and sought refuge at Jack's apartment. Without judgment or interrogation, Jack tended to her injuries with care and allowed her to rest. The following morning, they shared breakfast, and Juliet requested to take a walk. Jack, sensing her true intentions for a fix, offended Juliet by locking the door to prevent her departure. Angered by Jack's refusal to release her until she was clean, Juliet lashed out, breaking his belongings as she screamed in frustration. Amidst the chaos, Jack waited for an opportune moment and then embraced Juliet, offering comfort with a kiss. In the present, Juliet discovers glow sticks and tosses them outside to check for nearby reapers. Seeing no immediate threat, she ventures out to retrieve the radio. Suddenly, a strange noise startles her, prompting her to scatter glow sticks in different directions until she spots a reaper atop her car. Reacting swiftly, Juliet shoots it before retreating into the car, bracing herself for another attack. To her horror, the reaper surprises her from behind by tearing off the window cover, leaving a terrified Juliet scrambling to defend herself. Juliet attempts to move, but the reaper grabs her leg. In retaliation, she starts the car and accelerates, causing the wheels to harm the creature. The reaper retreats, and Juliet attempts to shoot it, but misses. While scanning the surroundings, the reaper stealthily enters through the opposite window, startling Juliet into shooting it again. After the reaper flees, Juliet tries to repair her radio, but her trembling hands and lack of alcohol exacerbate her nerves. A flashback unfolds, revealing Jack and Juliet as a couple in their new home. Jack's gestures to ease Juliet's anxiety include a tender touch to her face and a tour of the house, mentioning a room for their future children, which unsettles Juliet. Jack questions her about love, to which Juliet responds cryptically. Returning to the present, Juliet manages to fix the radio and contacts Harry, though the connection is poor. She recounts the recent events and seeks assistance, but the conversation is cut short after Harry mentions a beacon. Juliet discovers a box containing a beacon in the car, realizing she must consult the manual to activate it. As she works on the beacon, Juliet reflects on the day she learned of her pregnancy. The couple rejoiced at the positive result on the test, but their joy turned to sorrow when their baby died during labor 9 months later, leaving them to return home to an empty nursery. In the present, Juliet successfully activates the beacon and fortifies the windows just as the creature returns. Spotting her through the windshield, it moves towards the window and attempts to push through the cover. Juliet uses her feet to push it back down. Frustrated, the reaper resorts to hitting the car. Just then, Harry calls, reassuring Juliet of their imminent rescue and advising her to use light against reapers. Juliet acknowledges this, but her flashlight is broken. A noise alerts her to the fact that the creature has shattered the windshield and is now advancing from the front. Thankfully, Juliet is able to activate the headlights, startling the creature and causing it to retreat. Subsequently, Juliet contacts Harry, who delivers disappointing news. They won't be able to rescue her until sunrise due to the dangers of navigating at night. Another memory resurfaces. Since the loss of their baby, tension had simmered between Jack and Juliet, leading to Juliet's sudden departure one day. Jack eventually tracked her down, sparking a heated argument during which Juliet admitted she never truly wanted a child and felt pressured by Jack. In a fit of fury, Jack walked away from the car, intending to take the subway alone. He blamed Juliet's past addiction for their baby's death and ended their relationship. Back in the present, Juliet hears an approaching engine and urgently honks the horn to attract attention. 2 men on a bike stop nearby, with one offering to help. However, he reveals himself as a cannibal intent on killing her. In the struggle, the Reaper returns and dispatches the attacker, dragging him out to crush his skull. His accomplice flees on the bike while Juliet watches the Reaper feed on the body. In another flashback, following the argument with Jack, Juliet sought solace in alcohol at a bar, ignoring Jack's numerous calls. It was then she learned from a television report of a chemical attack at the subway station, claiming over 30 lives. Then she received a call from an unknown number informing her about Jack's injury during the attack, prompting her rush to the hospital. In the present, Juliet considers ending it all, but the persistent memories deter her. Upon reaching the hospital, she discovered Jack's inability to speak, yet he still attempted to communicate. Through a curtain, he tenderly touched her face, his special gesture, and then used a board to express, "I love you." In a heartfelt moment, Juliet reciprocated for the first time. Jack also made her promise never to give up, which compels present Juliet to lower her gun. Determined to honor her promise, Juliet arms herself with a flare and 2 gas containers, then exits the car. She proceeds to soak 1 container with gas and ignites the flare, waving it to attract the Reaper's attention. As the creature approaches, Juliet steps backward, waiting for the opportune moment to shoot the container, triggering an explosion. However, the Reaper escapes just in time. Juliet scans her surroundings for the creature, but it suddenly emerges behind her, causing her to drop the gun. Fearing for her life, Juliet pushes the Reaper's thin arms away and retreats into the car, only for the creature to grasp her wounded leg, causing her to bleed. Desperately reaching for her gun, Juliet is yanked out of the car and thrown to the ground by the Reaper. Summoning her courage, she fires 2 shots at the creature, causing it to collapse. As the Reaper lies still, Juliet weeps, reminiscing about the day she returned to the hospital, only to learn that Jack had passed away, leading to a breakdown. In the present, Juliet reflects on the situation, realizing she's not at fault. With the arrival of dawn, the Reaper stirs, but Juliet finds herself out of bullets. Suddenly, the creature climbs atop her, but instead of attacking, it tenderly touches her face, prompting Juliet to recognize it as Jack. This triggers a memory of their first meeting, where Jack spoke of fate bringing people together and demonstrated his commitment by closing the gallery to be with her. In the present, Juliet embraces Jack, finally confessing her love for him. After loading a fresh bullet into the gun, she presses their foreheads together, ready to end their lives and journey into the afterlife together.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay connected with us.